And where did y'all get married? Did y'all get married in Nigeria?
No, we got married
here.
So the thing is, really our budget was $3,000 because in our culture we have to pay bride's price. All right. So I'm factoring that in. All right.
Wait.
He had to put his money down to marry me.
Put what? Yo, what's going on, fam? It's your boy, Anthony O'Neill, and welcome back to the table where y'all already know. Here is where we have a real, relatable, and relevant conversation right here every single Monday at 8 a.m. And y'all, today I'm pretty pumped because I met this young, sharp, brilliant couple all the way from Africa. They are a Nigerian couple, and their story is amazing. You are about to learn something with me for the very first time on really how this culture gets down. But here's the key thing. They're debt-free. They paid off a lot of debt. So let's get straight into it.
Man.
Debo, Jennifer, Debo.
What's up?
Yo, what's going on, fam? Yo, so listen, let's dive straight into it. Give the people watching right now, okay, just a little backstory of where you currently are right now with your finances.
So right now we are pretty much debt-free. We have a mortgage and we've been living in our house about 2 years. So we pretty much started this building at the age of 26. We started the groundwork of getting our house built.
What?
And then May of 2017, we moved into our new build, new build.
So technically this is our only debt. We paid off like $140,000 over 2 years.
Wait. 140K?
Yes.
Hey,
Debo!
But the house wasn't cheap. You know what I'm saying? So Dave would probably be like, hey, nah, y'all should have went with a little startup. But we kind of went big on this
I ain't worried about the house right now. We'll talk about the house later. 140K? How old are you two again? How old are you two right now?
29.
We're 29.
And that was 140K in consumer debt? That doesn't include your mortgage?
No, that's just consumer debt. Student loans, car loans, yeah.
Okay. Let's break this down. How much student loans did you all have?
I had $30,000 in student loans.
Okay.
And then you...
I had $21,000.
$21,000, okay. All right. And then cars. Let's talk about what kind of cars were y'all driving?
So I have a Jeep Wrangler, souped out, sitting pretty, but it's $35,000.
You paid $35K for the Jeep?
35.
And y'all see how she said that thing fly, too. I'm going to call her out. She said that thing fly. What are you driving, bro? Don't tell me you driving a Mercedes.
No, I got a Lexus IS. I got the young professional looking one. I don't got the presidential one, You got
the IS. You got the little sport edition.
I do.
How much you spend on the Lexus, bro?
$25.
Boy, y'all was balling.
We may have looked like we was balling, but our bank account wasn't balling.
Yeah, that's all we had.
Thank you for saying that, because I was just about to say that. Y'all were driving two nice cars. Y'all are educated. Now, I'm curious. You graduated with $30-something thousand in student loans. What did you go to school for?
I went for nursing. My first degree was undergraduate in biology, and then I went back and got my nursing degree. So cumulative between those two degrees, it came up to $30,000.
Okay, bet. And are you a nurse now?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Thank God. I was about to say.
Yes, it was worth it at the end.
Yes. All right. What do you do for a living, Debo?
I got my degree in accounting, but I work like in construction finance.
Oh, okay. So you got your degree in there, and you're over here. All right, bet. Cool. What's y'all's combined income right now?
Right now, it's about 160.
160 at 20. Listen. Y'all winning. Y'all. Okay, so let's go all the way back to the beginning. All right, so let's break this stuff down. You guys had about $140,000 in debt altogether. When did you all take this serious about getting out of debt? What year, what time, what season were you two in when you say, you know what, let's start attacking our debt?
Okay, so I guess for me, I grew up, my parents were both from Nigeria.
Okay.
They were pretty successful, but one thing we never had was cash. Like, they never had money.
Wow.
Ever.
Wow.
So really my mindset when I graduated college is like, hey, I need to save every coin.
Okay.
And just save it. Look at my interest, see how much interest. My interest for my student loans wasn't very much, so I thought it was better to have a little bit more in saving and just to pay off my my student loans. So when I met her at 24, I already had $50,000 saved, but I owed about $15,000 left of my student loans. And then by the time we got married, I had $85,000 and she saved $45,000 in 2 years. Mm-hmm. So at that point, we had about $130,000.
$130,000 in the savings.
In savings, yeah.
And you still had all this debt.
And we still had this debt. So ideally, our plan was like, we're going to get married. We'll pay all our loans off. Pay our school loans off, our car loans off. And then we'll save up, $80,000 for the down payment of our house, 20%.
Okay. And
then from there, we were hoping to pay off the house in 7 years. And then from that point in time, we realized we'd need a new car, so we wanted to pay cash for our car in 7 years. Because at that time we had our car for about a year. We knew we'd keep our car for about 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
And so that's really kind of how it started.
Wow. So how much were you two making when y'all first met?
When we first met,
well, for me, I had just finished nursing school. Okay. So I wasn't even nowhere near what I'm making now. So collectively at that, it wasn't take home. I wasn't seeing $50K.
Okay.
So it was less than $50K take home at least. But the beauty of nursing, you could pick up shifts and do that. But I didn't have that grind mentality initially. Is when we were getting ready to purchase our home that I was like, okay, overtime, night shifts, weekends, whatever it looks to do whatever it takes to get what we wanted.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, I was making about 62, 63, but I was working, football games, JV, varsity. I was doing weekend stuff.
Yeah, you was getting it done. You was like, yo, I'm gonna get this money. I'm gonna stack this money, and then also I'm gonna start paying off my debt. One of the things I teach in baby step number 2 is, which I'm not knocking you two for doing this, but one of the things I say is, don't have a lot of money in your savings account. Go ahead and start attacking and throwing money on your debt. Mm-hmm. And so, it sounds like you all pretty much got that philosophy, paid off all your debt, and then you still put down this money for your beautiful home, and now you all are living nice at the age of 29. I'm curious, though. Let's go back to the childhood, because I grew up in a family here in America, but I grew up in a family where we didn't have cash either. Like, we didn't have a lot of money. Do you think that impacted you to really, especially you, Debo, to have that much money at a young age and to really save and be wise and be a good steward with your money and start attacking your debt? Like, do you think, what started that for you? Was it your family or was it something else? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think it was family, and it was kind of like giving. I remember, I graduated from college and I was like, man, I had $21,000, dollars in loans. And for me, that felt like a lot. Yeah. So I'm praying to God, saying, God, if you give me a job, I'll give you 30% of my tithe. I was saying all kinds of things, you know what I'm saying? I didn't do it. I'm working there. We're trying to get there. So I guess there was a fear of being like my parents. I knew I would probably always find a job. I'd always, I would do fine in the long run. But I just remember, we used to get paid for our grades, in high school. So if I wanted to, get new clothes, basically for A, we got $30. And I remember it was July. And my dad's like, hey, you should have got $380, but we don't have any money. And I'm like, but you promised, you told me if I made all A's, I'd get this amount. He's like, well, I ain't got no money. Get out of my face, dummy. So, and I just remember those things, and I also remember just giving. I hated, being able to, or wanting to give people money. I'd be like, hey, Anthony, I'll give you $500. And by the time I get to my car, I'm down to $250. Shoot, I can only give $250, Or, you kind of overcommit on giving. And I know a lot of us, we have debit limits. Yeah. But a lot of us don't have giving limits because our debit limits are so high. Our credit card is about $20,000, so we can only give $20.
Right.
So I'm trying to increase my giving limits while we decrease our debt.
Mm-hmm.
So really that was kind of the plan.
I love it. I love it, man. I love it. We don't have debit. We have debit limits, but we don't have giving limits, and I'm feeling that. I love that. The journey now. You guys are debt free. You paid off $140,000 in a matter of 2 years, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
During those 2 years, what were some concerns? What obstacles did you all have to get over? Maybe this is mentally, maybe this is spiritually, maybe this is financially. What were some things that you all had to fight through to pay off this amount of debt quickly?
Definitely being content. One quote that my pastor, Tony Evans, would always say is, contentment doesn't mean complacency. It just means is that you're okay with where you're at until God gives you more.
Yeah.
So for me, it's, okay, we're not going to be catching all the flights. We're not going to be dropping the dollars. We may not be able to do all these nice things, but I'd rather grind now and then play later. So that means that I was denying myself. My paychecks, majority, after I tithed, it was all going to the savings. So it had to get to that point where I was okay with, not going shopping, not getting my nails done, learning how to do my own hair, learning how to stretch that dollar just so we can meet our financial goals. And for us was we wanted to be able to put 20% down on the house. We didn't want any credit card debt from our wedding. You know, we put a limit even on our wedding expenditure. You know, I was like, we're not paying more than $3,000.
Wait. Y'all only spent $3,000 for your wedding?
Me and him, only $3,000. Now, friends and family did contribute, but I'll tell you this. We got engaged August 2017. 3 months later, we were married, November 2017. Guest count was over 250 people.
250
So we did it in
people.
3 months and only spent $3,000.
3 months, $3,000. And where did y'all get married? Did y'all get married in Nigeria?
No, we got married
here.
So the thing is, really our budget was $3,000 because in our culture, we have to pay bride's price, all right? So
What?
I'm factoring that in, all right?
Wait.
He had to put his money down to marry me.
But what? How?
So basically...
Hey, bro, hold on. You can't go by that, you know? Because people are like, wait, explain this. Explain to me what y'all's culture mean by that. You had to put money down.
So again, like the story of Jacob. You know, Jacob had to work. I guess only in America, really, can a guy be like, hey, I'm about to marry your daughter. You gonna give me her hand?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Over here in Africa, we got to prove. So for us, they gave me a plate. And on the plate, they put 32 picks. Each toothpick represented $1,000. Okay? And they put it on me. They said, take out how many toothpicks you think she's worth. So basically, leave the remaining in how much you think she's worth. So at that point in time, you're kind of like in a, you know, you're like, dang, man, if I take 29 away, you know what they gonna think? And the problem is that, like, her uncles are with her dad, so it's like they're all getting the money. So, you know, of course, I'm taking, you know, five off, 6 off, and they're like, put more. Matter of fact, give me more toothpicks, you know? They're trying to get their money too, because they divide it up.
Yeah.
Because essentially it's a gift to the family for raising her.
Oh.
So it's like a cultural token, letting them know that, hey, we're not just giving you our daughter any willy-nilly. You know, we've groomed her. She's had training, you know, and she's going to be leaving us and joining your family. So this is like to prove and ultimately to safeguard, letting you know that the families are combining. You know, you're not going to get married anyhow. Wow. So yeah, it's a bride price. So in order for you to be able to marry me, for him to marry me, he had to pretty much pay a token or a price. And some people, it don't come a little cheap. It's not really cheap.
And unfortunately, we can't disclose.
I see. I mean, when you said 30 thing was on the thing, boy, it's like, if you go all the way down to 1, you're saying my daughter's only worth $1,000?
Exactly.
Boy, I be praying. Boy, I be like, God.
He thinks he left on the plate either.
Yeah, because I can't say how much, and then you'd be like, oh, man, she $8,000? You know, so you have to kind of keep it a secret. You know what I'm saying? But in reality,
I'm not going to ask you that. That's
about
y'all.
$20,000.
What?
And if she's a doctor, you're going to pay about, like I'm telling you, Anthony, by the time you're 40, if you ain't married, come to Dallas, bring about, if you want a teacher, I'll get you about $18,000. But if you want like a lawyer or doctor, we're going to get you're going to need about 45 racks. All right?
Yo, listen, man. I've heard some great things about ladies in y'all culture, man. I'm a single brother, you know what I'm saying? Listen, don't get it twisted.
Anthony. Come
Don't
now.
get it twisted. Your boy ain't broke. I'm coming down with a deposit. If I find the right one, listen here. But we need to talk about this deposit, though. You understand what I'm saying? Because I got to add that into my budget. So how much is it going to cost me? But you know what? While we're laughing, you know, it's funny. I've never heard of that before, so you all just taught me something. I'm pretty sure. As a matter of fact, is this y'all's first time hearing about this? I'm curious. Like, let me know how you feel about this. This is unique. But you've made the deposit into the family. Mm-hmm. So you made an investment, not just spiritually, but then also practically. Bro, you in this to death, do y'all part for sure. Because you ain't getting a refund.
Exactly.
Oh, no, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. But I guess that's why you see a lot of Africans in general now. If you look at the African culture, it's typically a bunch of 40-year-olds getting married because most 25, 29-year-olds don't have 30,000 saved. So that's why you go to Africa, you see all these 40-year-olds marrying some 18-year-old girls because they're the only ones that got money, you know? Wow. So it's not very common to see young Africans get married because you got to pay all that, you know, all that bride price. That dowry. Yeah.
And it's like, is that still happening if you're actually living in United States?
Anybody that has probably an African parent, a mom and dad, is paying a bride price. I mean, It's one chance to come up on someone, and it's culture.
It's culture. I ain't mad at it. I mean, I'm not mad at it.
So that's why at the weddings, when they rain in all that money, we're like, keep spraying all that money.
We dance until 5 o'clock in the morning so we can get our money back.
I was wondering that because I went to one wedding, and I mean, they was like, if you want to dance, you got to put. I was like, I got to put money out there. They was like, yeah, they trying to get their money back, and I'm like, oh, so I'm thinking when I went, they were getting their money back for what they spent on the wedding, and it's not that. It's the money that you gave to the family for saying thank you.
Correct.
Bro, listen.
Even the wedding, though, I was saving for the wedding because those weddings are massive. They're very expensive and beautiful, but I knew we weren't going to be spending as much as that.
I love it. Let's give. I want y'all to think about this. As a matter of fact, if you just now tuned in to the table, we are here having a real, relevant, and relatable conversation with two strong, young Nigerian people who are happily married. I want you to hit that subscribe button, and I want you to rock with this because, y'all, we're having a great conversation today. Like, this is... I've just learned something, and I'm loving this show. Here at the table, I told you, it's real and relevant. We just learned something for real over here, and so I love it. Let's go a little deeper. To the people watching right now, what are two things from what you all have experienced? What are two things that they should do to get out of debt?
Number one, I think, is give. Like, I feel like I've been reading, like, every day I've been reading Colossians 3, and it's just having a renewal of the mind and just, thinking everything, tying it back to Jesus Christ. And for me, it's just whatever you believe in, tie it back to that. I just feel like you have to have a driver, and of course, for me, my favorite saying is, sacrifice and debt both cost. You choose which one you want to pay for, and we chose to pay, for sacrifice instead of debt. So, yeah.
I love it. And you got to give one too, Jennifer. What's one thing?
Absolutely. I would say you have to save. Like, it doesn't make sense to be grinding Monday through Friday, putting in 40 hours a week, and then, you don't even have anything for you. You're paying the gas bill, you're paying the light bill, you're giving everybody their checks, you're paying Sally Mae, but then you looking at your account and it's still in the same position that it was 2 weeks prior. And then you come, 52 weeks later and it's the same amount. So I would say you need to pay yourself first. With us being believers, we pay God first and then we pay ourselves. And paying yourselves is essentially saving. And then, with that savings, you can use it like, hey, within 3 months, I want this amount. I want to knock out this. And, I'm sure Dave goes into it. You go into it about, the snowball effect. Yeah. But it does feel good, I know for myself, to look into my savings account and just see it accumulating and growing and using that, funds either to help somebody in the time of need or, if something were to happen, I'm able to finance it right away without having to worry and crunching corners or wondering how my credit looks because I can't afford something.
Yeah. Man, this is good. We teach give, save, spend here. Give first, and save, and then spend, and so I totally agree with what you're saying as far as and just grind and just make sure that you're safe and get out of debt. I agree with you. Here's my philosophy. If I can't buy it twice, I won't buy it at all. That's my philosophy. And if I can't pay for it cash, I don't need it right now. Bottom line, And I'm like you all. I have a mortgage payment as well, and my goal is to have it paid off by the end of next year. My goal was to have it paid off this year, but because of the coronavirus, I lost out on a lot of money, a lot of opportunities these last 3 months, and I don't know what the fall is going to look like. So I'm still aggressively paying extra on my mortgage, but I have it paid off next year, and if God turns things back around, I'm gonna pay that off. And this is what I'm gonna do with my mortgage payment. I'm not even going to pocket the mortgage payment. I'm actually going to turn that into more tithe. So I'm going to take my 10%, put my mortgage payment on top of my 10%, and I'm giving that to the Lord because I want him to know you can trust me with more. And so I think it's best to give than it is to receive. So God, like, hey, one day I want to see 7 figures net is what I'm making a year. Not gross. I want to be net. I don't want my net worth to just be 7 figures. No. I want to be making 7 figures net a year, and so that means I need to be making high plus 7 figures gross to net it. And so I believe the only person who can really make that happen for me is God. So I'm going to give him more. And then I'm going to be grinding like myself because, if I'm going to propose to a Nigerian doctor, I'm going to need about 40, 50 grand. You understand what I'm saying?
Minimum.
Minimum.
Up front.
Yeah. And even to piggyback what you said, I remember back whenever I wasn't necessarily making the amount I'm making now, I used to have this thought, my pastor at the time was preaching, it's like the amount that you believe God for, that you want to make, are tithing that amount. So if you want to be seeing 6 figures, tithe like you're making 6 figures. And I honestly embodied that, and lo and behold, in such a short amount of time, that's what is going on. Wow. So literally, if you want to make $120K a year, start tithing like you're making that, and see how God will start to pour into your life, or give opportunities. It's not always about someone writing you a check. It might be a promotion at the job, or more hours at work, or business intuitions and ideas. So that's something I believe in. So if we want to see ourselves become millionaires, God, with God's grace and ability, we'll start tithing like that, so that when we become it, it's nothing. We're just easing into that role because we've already been doing it with the finances that we currently have.
Wow. Man, listen, I love it. Before we move into a little fun segment, is there anything else you all want to encourage the people, talk about, anything like that before we move into a fun segment?
Definitely. We always hear it. Don't compete with the Joneses. With us millennials, everybody wants to put everything on IG. Yep. If it's not on IG, you're not doing it. Or, if you're not flexing, you don't got it. But one thing I've noticed is that the people who have it the most, you'll never know. You will never know, whether by, their cars, their clothes, whatever, they're doing. Yeah. So I want to embody back to what I was saying, is just being content with what I have, not having to look like the next person, just being content with what God has blessed me with.
I love it. Yo, I got to ask you a question before we move on. What's next? Okay, so you all are debt-free. You have nothing but your mortgage payment. What's next? Like, what's next for this amazing young couple?
Well, I guess Jennifer actually just graduated, I think, last week from her master's in nurse practitioner. Okay. So we paid cash for that. So wow. the money about to level up a little bit more now. So so that 160 going control.
Go up.
Yeah, it's going to go a little bit up.
Yeah.
So we're hoping, again, we can pay off, the house here in about 2-3 years.
Okay.
But really, it's like, we just want to help. We want to serve. I mean, I'm starting to use a little bit of wisdom when it comes to giving. I've noticed in the past, I've given people money to pay off their credit card. And I'm like, that was not God telling me to help someone pay their credit card off. Wow. Because I've noticed that sometimes when you're trying to move, upward financially, like, it's the undisciplined that expect the discipline to help them out.
Say that one. Wait, go back. Say that one more time. It's the undisciplined
that expect the discipline to kind of get them out of their hole. Mm-hmm. And for years, I would walk around with all this guilt of telling people, "Nah, I can't help you out," even though I had $50,000 in my account.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of, start praying about it and just asking myself, like, it is not God telling me to give someone $500 for the credit card.
Yeah.
I can do it for your mission, whatever your business, but for your credit card, for your cell phone bill, it's not God. And I feel like we as people, we should stop walking around with the guilt of telling people no, our family no, to help them pay off expenses that they use for themselves.
Right.
No,
I agree.
So really, we just want to help people. We want to help the discipline. That's really our goal.
I agree. I mean, no. Someone asked me a couple of months ago. It was like, "Hey, man, can you give me $500 a month so I can get out of debt?" I was like, "No." What?
And then throw you back in debt.
Yeah. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? You want me to spend $500 a month? That's $1,500 a quarter. Mm-hmm. That's $3,000 every 6 months. That's what? Mm-hmm. Really? That doesn't make sense. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
And they would rather inconvenience you to do so rather than to go pick up and grind. Go drive Uber. Get a restaurant side hustle. Whatever you need to do. But it's easier to just ask somebody rather than to get uncomfortable to knock out your debt. Because we all have to do it. Yeah. We all have to get uncomfortable to do what we don't feel like doing. But eventually it's worthwhile.
Yeah. And I got bad news. For most people, if someone's ever came up to you and asked for $500, they probably asked about 3 or 4 other people and got $500 from them as well. So that's the bad part of also giving money, is because typically you ain't the only person they came to.
Yes.
Yeah. So a lot of times they end up winning. They may end up paying other things or just having more cash on them. But I started realizing when I'd give someone money, they're like, "Oh yeah, homie came to me too." Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Did you give him money?" Like, "Yeah." I'm like,
he got us. He got us. Last
and
question.
And then 3 months later, they still in that same predicament. Ain't no debt and paid nothing.
Man, listen, you ain't got to worry about me. They ain't getting no money out of me. Listen, I help the discipline. If your lights get cut off for some odd reason, I help you get your lights cut off. But I'm gonna make sure you take Financial Peace University. Like I'm going to make sure that I help you with your immediate need, but serve your long-term need. That's my goal. And so I feel you on that. Think about this question. I really want you to think about this. 10 years, where is this couple at? In 10 years from today, y'all will be 39, 40, you know. Where are you guys financially? Where are you as a family? What are you doing? What's the imprint? What's the legacy you're building? Like, in 10 years, now that you're debt-free, where do you see yourself?
Well, for me, I guess starting next year, me and a couple guys, we have the same mindset. We actually got written into curriculum for a school district to start presenting, you know, financial, like literacy, we're probably going to steal a little bit of the financial university from Dave.
Okay.
And we're going to be teaching kids at career technology schools.
I love it.
You know, kind of how to understand, because we're doing it at a low socioeconomic a district. And one of the crazy things we found out is that 25% of people that have financial problems tend to ask the people around them, okay? But in lower socioeconomic, I guess, areas, 90% of them are poor. So they're getting advice from people that are poor. You know?
Yeah.
And so we really want to be able to, you know, I never had that guy in my life that really poured down that thing. And I realized a lot of us won't have it, but we can be that person for other people.
Okay.
You know, so if we can at least plant that seed where we have a bunch of people that are those people, even though they weren't that person when they started, we feel like, man, we can do the kingdom so much good. So
Yeah. I love it. What about you?
So for me, it's always been my dream, if anything, definitely debt-free. I know this house will be paid off by God's grace before 10 years, hopefully in 2-3 years. But I want my kids to be involved in all that we're doing. So I want to teach them the principles of, you know, being stewards of their finances and everything, but to also put them on game as far as, you know, with whatever you have, you're held responsible for this. But ultimately, this is for the kingdom of God. Ooh. So what your investments here on earth, you're investing in heaven. So when I'm investing and giving to a ministry here, ultimately, I'm turning that investment to my ministry in heaven. Because it doesn't end here. You know, we can get so caught up and be so earthly minded on our riches and possessions here. But you got to remember that, hey, you know, life is just a breath. It's, you know, it's thin. You know, you're going to one day meet your maker. And I want to instill in them and leave that legacy that God's blessed you to be a blessing, but ultimately you're going to be ruling, you know, people up in heaven and, you know, continuing to expand the kingdom.
Man, listen, if y'all just now tuned in, man, I have, just two amazing young people who are from Africa. And just bright, brilliant, smart, completely debt-free. Paid off $140,000 in a matter of 2 years. Put down 20% on their home. My brother had to make a little deposit to get what God has blessed them with today. But I'm just so excited to have Debo and Jennifer with me today. You guys, we're going to link their Instagram below. I want you to go and support them, check them out. They are doing some great things. So Debo and Jennifer, I'm going to bring Colin, my producer, back in. We have a fun segment that happens towards the end, and we call this the Save or Cave. He tries to come up with some questions that are hard, but lately they've sucked.
They have not been good.
You know,
they have not been good.
You know what I mean? No, I'm just playing, but they're not hard. You know, it's easy. It's either A or B. So he's going to ask us a question, and man, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So you guys know what a would you rather question is, right? Well, apparently I ask would you rather questions where everyone is like, well, duh, that's the answer. Like, you know what I mean? So actually what I'm doing today is, I don't know if you've ever checked out Anthony's YouTube community tab, but a while back I asked some of you guys at home to post some ideas to use for this segment. And Tina Welch from Anthony's subscriber list is asking, would you rather save money by sharing a 1-bathroom house with 10 strangers? Or living in a tent? You want to put a time limit on it? We'll do a month.
But who's in the tent? Just me?
Yeah, just you.
How much are we saving?
I think it's just in the. Well, I mean,
my man said, "Well, let's talk dollars here."
I don't know. Rent would be pretty cheap with that many people. I brought it down. She said 30 strangers, but I think that's too easy. I'm picking the tent. You ain't putting me in a house with 30 people.
Yeah.
So we're going with 10 because that's doable. But with 1 bathroom, though. Now, I don't know how many girls are. What's up?
That's what I'm trying to figure out too. Where's his tent at?
You know, tents can be anywhere.
I mean, it's in it. Let's just say it's in a place where you don't have to worry about it being too hot or too cold, but you also are nowhere near like
A bathroom.
a city or like a store.
Well, if that's the case, I'm rocking with a tent.
I'm doing 10 roommates
Yeah.
all day.
10 roommates.
Yeah, I'll do that, yeah.
10 roommates.
Both of y'all is.
Oh, no.
I would have done the tent.
I like my space.
But then, like, where are you going to shower, though?
I mean, you
In
said
the creek.
You said I'm nowhere near, man. I went to Jamaica earlier last year, brother. There was in that creek, bro.
Yeah, no countries were off limits. So you guys would
I'll
do
do
10.
the 10 roommates.
I'll
10
do it.
roommates, 1 bathroom, because there's a limit.
Yeah.
So after those,
I don't even like taking out the trash after 9 o'clock. I'll be running out, throwing it out, and going back inside. So I couldn't be sleeping outside all night.
Oh, man, listen, y'all. Yeah, that's hilarious. I think for me, it's more so of like, yo, I like my privacy. And so if I got 10 people in the house, I'm going to be hearing things I
There's
probably
no
don't want to
privacy.
hear.
No.
I got to go in the bathroom and smell something I probably don't want to smell.
It's not a 10-bedroom house now.
Well,
If there's 1 bathroom, you can only imagine there's like maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms.
hey, man.
So
bro.
someone's sleeping in the kitchen.
That's why I said I'm
yeah, you
rocking
didn't
with
give
the
all
10.
that. You just said 1
No,
bathroom.
y'all can't
Yeah,
change
you wanna
it.
change it.
Jennifer, you can't change it, girl. You can't change it. No.
Story, though. You just said 1 bathroom.
Oh, man. I'm curious, y'all. Which one are y'all doing? The tent or the 3-bedroom, 1-bath house with 10 people in it?
We could go 3-bedroom. That's fine. Yeah, 10 people.
3-bedroom, 10
Yeah.
people? Nah, tent.
Tent. I never said it couldn't be a big tent. It could be a big tent. It could be a nice tent.
Tent.
Tent. Same.
Tent.
It's all right, though. We'll let you in when you're tired of the house.
Yo, man. Hey, man, you guys, thank you all so much for joining me. This has been an absolute journey. This has been an absolute joy just having a conversation with you all and just really getting to know your story. Thank you for your time and coming on and inspiring other people. Wow. I mean, I learned something today. I didn't know that the Nigerian culture requires some form of deposit. I mean, that's something new for me, and I ain't even mad at it. I mean, if that's part of their culture, that's part of their culture. But y'all, there's something that I learned here, that if you put your mind to it, you will be successful. They paid off $140,000 in a matter of 2 years. They put down 20% on their home. They are paying off their home within the next 2 to 3 years, and they're not even 30 years old yet. So what I'm seeing here is when you have a vision, when you get on a plan, man, I'm telling you right now, you will be successful. So for those of you all watching right now, if you're trying to really get on this journey, get out of debt, I want you to click the link below where you can go and take Financial Peace University for 14 days free. I'm going to say that one more time. You can take the class that helped them get out of debt for 14 days for free. I'm not making $1. Dave is not making $1, but this is going to help you out. Check it out. I want you to get a vision, get a plan. We have the plan. We have the step-by-step proven plan that will help you pay off your debt. Because when you do that, your future is looking brighter. Woo-hoo! It's looking brighter, and I'm getting excited. Y'all, it's your boy, Anthony O'Neal. I want to thank my producer, Connor Adams, for rocking out with your boy, and we're going to see y'all next week on the next video. Peace out.